Who's there? Who's there?
Bring us the curb and wipe away the debt!
What do you want?
We had a deal, DeWitt! Open this door right now!
I told you! I'm not gonna do it! Go away!
Mr. DeWitt! Mr. DeWitt!
That idiot priest needs to learn the difference between baptizing a man and drowning one.
She granted a sword of gold.
What's up, guys? This is Destroyer of Worlds, Taco Algorithm, coming to you with episode 2 of my Bioshock Infinite playthrough. As you may remember from last episode, Booker Troy Baker DeWitt has arrived in Cloud City and is currently searching for the heretofore unnamed girl to clean his debt. And after nearly being drowned by a priest, we've made our way into Columbia proper, and we are going to continue our journey. Pretty much right off the bat, you get to see the kind of worlds that Irrational Games likes to create. You definitely got to see it in the first Bioshock with Rapture, the underwater city, and they kind of did the opposite with this. You got a city floating in the sky. All the buildings appear to be suspended by balloons. And kind of shift and switch places. I'd imagine that would really fuck with you if you were drunk. It'd be kind of hard to find your way home, I would think.
Our beloved mother of forgiveness.
Coming into this from The Last of Us. The Last of Us was not a very populated game, if that makes any kind of sense. Most of the people you ran into were trying to kill you, and I'm not going to pretend that this game doesn't go that direction, because it does go that direction, actually, very, very shortly. Booker is going to be forced to spread his message of peace, love, and diversity at the town raffle, which is where we're headed now. But anyway, going back to The Last of Us, most of the areas you explore are empty, with the exception of the infected and maybe the hunters. Whereas this, there are tons and tons of people nearly everywhere you look. Just kind of makes it feel just a little bit more real, although obviously very much a work of fiction. They did take quite a few liberties with history here, but it is enjoyable in my opinion, and hopefully you feel the same way. I don't know what you mean.
Is this
Here we have a billboard for the false Shepard. Is it the Emperor from Return of the Jedi? I guess those things are called kinetoscopes. It's kind of like a Viewmaster, which that might kind of reveal my age to you, the viewer, but I had one of those, actually several of them when I was little and used to love them. Hey, that's them, Columbia's gayest quartet. I'm sure that wasn't intended as a joke. Come to think of it, I'm pretty sure that rounds out like all the hatred that this game would ever possibly need. Here in just a second, we're gonna kind of discover that the good folks of Columbia don't really care.
Telegram for you, sir.
Great.
DeWitt, stop. Do not alert Comstock to your presence. Stop. Whatever you do, do not pick number 77. Stop. Tess.
Yes, the good folks of Columbia don't really much care for anyone who doesn't happen to be white, and it's not just limited to black people. It's they pretty much hate on everybody at some point in this game.
Could hoist a 1-ton stallion straight into the air, would you believe me? Well, friends, I am here today to tell. Those are no flights of fancy. Those are no tall tales told behind the pool hall. No, sir, no, ma'am. Those are biggers I'm talking about. Brought to you courtesy of Mr. Jeremiah Bink himself. Who amongst you has tasted the
I believe this section would actually qualify as probably the tutorial section of the game. You can kind of do like the carnival games, both with weapons, which obviously fire projectiles, and you can also kind of get an introduction to vigors, which are sort of kind of take the place of, I guess, grenades, but they're more, I guess, magical, you might say. There is a handyman. There are no big daddies in this game, which I'm kind of sad about.
Have you ever lost a penny to a vending machine? Has a painter
You're one of
ever
those.
refused to connect you with a beloved spouse? It's just a whisper. They're all ears.
Press to turn machines into allies.
What the hell was that?
Alright, so we've actually just gotten our first vigor. We're gonna try it out.
Sorry, pal. The raffle is all sold out. Entrances are good. Well, if it isn't Assemblyman Buford. Your spot at the raffle awaits. Don't know why I didn't recognize you before.
Heads.
Or tails.
Come on, let me through. Heads.
Or tails.
Heads.
Told you. I never find that as satisfying as I'd imagined.
Chin up. There's always next time.
I suppose there is.
So we just encountered that strange duo again. For arguably not the last time, I'm sure. We've just knocked over a small child, and I believe we're stealing his money and his candy. If you were ever wondering what kind of character your good buddy Taco Algorithm plays in games like Fallout or Skyrim or any game with any kind of moral choice, that really ought to answer it for you right there.
This little beauty? The whole division got them. If we're gonna flush the Vox out of the Skyline system, we gotta have the best.
Tess. I have read all your books on the sciences. Mama says it's not a fit occupation for a lady, but I think she's jealous of our cleverness. Is it true that only you are allowed to visit the girl in the tower? If the lamb is lonely too, I should like to meet her, as we would have much in common. Warmest regards, Constance.
Alright, so we just found our first voxophone. They function kind of like the notes in The Last of Us, in that they just kind of enhance the story. Well, that can't be good. And we will see if I can find where I'm supposed to go.
We'll see about that. I'm feeling lucky. You already
And now, the 1912 raffle has officially begun!
Mister!
Sorry, no sale.
Silly? There's never a charge for the raffle. You've been sleeping under a rock?
77.
77. That's a lucky number. I'll be rooting for you.
Bring me the bowl! Is that not the prettiest young white girl in all of Columbia? All right then. The winner is number 77!
Oh, what do you know?
Over here! He's the winner!
Number 77, come and claim your prize! First round!
It was me. It was all me. Please. Please. Please, what are you doing?
Come on! Are you gonna throw it? Or are you taking your coffee black these days?
I know what you want.
Oh! Looks
got
like
something
we've got
for
a
you,
shy
son of
one
a
here!
bitch.
Wait!
It's him.
Now, where'd you get that brand, boy? Don't you know that makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass false shepherd?
And we ain't letting no false shepherd into our flock. Show 'em what we got planned, boys! Stop him! Stop him!
Man,
The false shepherds come to lead our lamb astray!
I have the worst luck in choosing family-friendly games out of anyone I know. I love ragdoll physics in games. Pretty sure they never, ever get old. Alright, so I am currently spreading my message of love and diversity, really the only way that I know how, with my skyhook. The more observant among you may note that I don't yet have a gun. I think we may be able to get here. Yes. Alright, so this is the pistol. It's pretty basic, as you might imagine, seeing as how it's the first weapon.
I told you, Comstock. You sell them paradise, and the customers expect cherubs for every chore. No menials in God's kingdom. Well, I have a man in Georgia who'll lease us as many Negro convicts as you can board. Why, you can say they're simple souls in penance for rising above their station. Whatever eases your conscience, I suppose.
Don't really appreciate being interrupted there, gentlemen. The pistol, back to that, I guess, is Pretty basic, holds 12 rounds at least at the start. Looks like we've got our first turret. I was trying to decide whether or not I should use possession on that because it'll make it friendly. The problem with using possession right there is that when you get into combat down below, has the tendency to become unfriendly at really bad times, and then you're kind of surrounded. So I figure it's better to just take it out. The pistol's not very powerful, but it can fire pretty quickly, which can be helpful. You'll notice too that it is certainly possible and indeed recommended to loot the bodies of the people that you introduce to diversity. Really, they can drop just about anything. Any kind of item that's available in the game can be gotten as a drop. Pistol ammo. I actually don't think we have to wait too long before we get the second weapon, which is a machine gun, which I actually kind of have a... Alright, looks like we got another turret. But I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the machine gun. I go ahead and use possession. So we can actually get past this one before it wears off. Alright, and they are calling for the firemen, which, like I said earlier, there's not really any big daddies in this game. There's kind of some real diverse types of enemies, though. The fireman being the first that you encounter. And if you're guessing that he likes to use fire, spoilers, you are correct. Doing pretty good. Now the thing about the fireman, well, two things. First of all, he drops a new vigor.
It's a kiss. Well, you only live once. This...
Press to throw a fiery grenade. Hold and release to create an explosive trap.
That wasn't no
And
sample.
secondly, you may notice when they get low on health, they have a tendency to charge towards you and try to explode. If we have another turret, there we go. If you can damage them enough before they get close to you, they'll just die, which is probably preferable, I guess. Or Bucking Bronco, which is a vigor we'll get here in a little while. Can kind of stop them from coming close to you. This is about going to do it for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and cut it here now that we've beaten the fireman. But I will be back soon with episode 3. And until then, this is your good friend, Taco Algorithm, signing off.